Just setting up here. Just setting up here. So, here we are. Oh, we have one joining us. Welcome to the room. Oh, we have one joining us. Welcome to the room. Oh, we have one joining us. Welcome to the And for those of you who haven't seen my latest post on Twitter, it seems that the Democratic right wing is coming under quite the scrutiny. I wonder why. I better turn this down so that you guys can. I better turn this down so that you guys can. I better turn this down so that you can turn my speakers right down. There we go. Anyway, to those of you, welcome. We're actually on a little bit earlier than what I've planned. One of the very, very key focal points of tonight's discussion is going to be Michael Moore. That's right. I believe Michael Moore to be a classic closet fascist. I believe him to be not a man at all of the American people. Hell, I'm Canadian, and I'm more American than he could ever fucking hope to be. We are still roughly about 45 minutes, 44 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that, I'm actually going to play an interview, and I really, really feel it's so important to get this message across, because I feel to a degree that it was Michael Moore who maybe led some of you astray with his very, very his interesting theories on you, the American people. So, with that being said, I'm going to play some of this, and then I'll be on. I have a couple of things to do before I actually get to the matter at hand. So, without any further ado, I'd like y'all to watch this.
Are back with Michael Moore. What a conversation it's already been. Something that I do want to ask you, we've talked about firing up the base on both sides. But ultimately, it's going to be about those that are swung one way or the other to an election. So if you are in Michigan, if you are in Indiana, and you say, you know what, I don't like everything the president says and does, but my life is going well. I can put food on the table for my kids. I finally have a full-time job. The economy is doing well. What do you say to that person?
I think most Americans will put their country ahead of whether or not they're doing well. And that even if they were having to sacrifice, we've seen it with our parents and our grandparents, that they are willing to do those things. Listen, when you asked me before the break, why did this happen? Or isn't this going to make more Trump voters get out and vote? This is the exact reason that we discovered in the film. Why didn't Hillary come to Michigan? It's a blue state. Why didn't she go to Wisconsin? It's a blue state. I was told while we were making this film that they were afraid that if they sent Hillary to Wisconsin, it would remind the Trump voters they got to get out and vote.
This is Michael Moore, ladies and gentlemen, right?
That's crazy. And that's what I do show in this film, the Democrats are partly responsible for this because they're constantly compromising, they're constantly backing down, they've got no spine, people are tired of it. And
to all of you fellow Democrats out there, this is your big time hero. Saying that you have no spine, and as you're about to hear, you've given up, you don't fight back, you're basically lost and plundered, and that you don't seem to know what the hell you're doing. What's very, very funny to me is that since Donald Trump took office, you guys have seemed to pull your act together pretty quick, like just non-stop. It has been non-stop bombardment. It has been nothing but a fucking shit show from the beginning. It all started really with the Russia conspiracy, what of course us Trump trainers know as the Russian hoax. Listen into what Mr. Michael Cheeseburger Eating Moore has to say.
A bunch of people on the ballot in November.
I shall return, ladies and gentlemen.
Different Democrats that are going to fight. When Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez won the primary in New York, the Democrats went after her. They tried to get her off. They went through all her signatures to get her off. I'm telling you, everybody's got to vote on November 6th. I believe there could be a tsunami of voters. There's a lot of good women on the ballot. There's so many, a record number of women
Might be your
are
last
on the ballot
chance. Might be your last
this year.
chance.
And this could be the last
Yeah.
chance
Right.
to save the democracy that you love. I can't plead with you enough.
Thank you.
We gotta
Thank
go.
you. This one moving fast tonight. 11.9 opens everywhere September 21st, and we'll be right back.
I thought, it's funny.
I'm Amy
that
Goodman. In late
Americans
October,
should
Donald
put
Trump sent out a tweet
their
that may have
jobs
surprised many of his
aside,
followers.
put
In
their
the tweet, he
financial
linked to a
needs
video of
aside.
filmmaker Michael Moore,
make sure
along with the
because
words, I
one
agree,
person doesn't
and then
get enough.
Flint. That's Michael Moore's Twitter handle.
just drop it
Trump
on
went
the
on to
fucking
say to all
in
Americans,
America,
I
you know,
see you and I hear
better
you, I
place.
am your voice,
Quit your
vote
job,
drain
go
the
home,
swamp
for
with me
sitting home
on November 8th.
and bombarding
Well,
me
Trump's
with
tweet included a 4-minute audio
Yeah.
recording pulled
That's
from
basically
Michael
what
Moore's
that
new
is.
film,
That's
Michael
basically
Moore in
what that is.
Trumpland.
Yeah, fuck
The
that.
recording was edited to make it sound like Michael Moore was endorsing Trump. Well, in response, Moore tweeted, quote, look at this Orwellian tweet by Trump. Donald, you either haven't seen my movie or you are conning your followers. The clip you show is doctored, unquote. Well, we end today's show with the undoctored clip from Michael Moore's film and get response to the controversy from Michael Moore himself. This is from Michael Moore in Trumpland.
Donald Trump came to the Detroit Economic Club and stood there in front of a Ford Motor executive and said, if you close these factories that we're planning to do in Detroit and build them in Mexico, I'm going to put a 35% tariff on those cars when you send them back and nobody's going to buy them. It was an amazing thing to see. No politician, Republican or Democrat, had ever said anything like that to these executives. And it was music to the ears of people in Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin.
And what happened? What happened? What did the GM? What did What did the GM? Yeah. What are the? That's very funny. That's very funny. It's very funny. I absolutely love the way they. Lord, the stupidity. The absolute fucking bombarding stupidity. I have to get them finished. Janice? Oh no, we'll wait. We'll wait. Oh.
Are back with Michael Moore. What a conversation it's already been.
Now, to everyone, when I had played this earlier, just getting set up here, of course, for 6 o'clock, and there's something I need you, the people, to know, and I need you to listen to what is being said extremely carefully. It is totally the role of a reverse paradox. This is, and I have taken sociology and psychology. This is the complete use of the basic reverse psychology strategy. I need you to listen.
Something that I do want to ask you, we've talked about firing up the base on both sides.
Yeah.
But ultimately it's going to be about those that are swung one way or the other to an election. So if you are in Michigan, if you are in Indiana, and you say, you know what, I don't like everything the president says and does, but my life is going well. I can put food on the table for my kids. I finally have a full-time job. The economy's doing well. What do you say to that person?
I think most Americans will put their country ahead of whether or not they're doing well. And that even if they...
See, it's the assumption, and really what he's done right here, ladies and gentlemen, is he's basically said to all of you, this is what I want you to do. Quit your jobs. Quit paying your bills. Focus on the campaign. And hell, let's get Hillary Clinton in office. In a roundabout nutshell, that's what's happening right there. And my answer to Michael Moore is truly this. So you expect people to just quit their jobs, stop paying their bills, stop putting food on the table. You know, Hannity said it best, Michael. Michael, I challenge you, give up 30% of your wealth to the American people. Give up 30%, Michael. Why don't you take $30 million of your own money? We all know you're a multimillionaire. And start a foundation of your own. That's until you get Bill and Hillary on board and you won't have a fucking cent left. You know, sadly enough as it is, this is why things are going the way they are in your country, the United States of America, is that we do not, even right now, with the president that we have, if you notice, if you truly want to think about it, we do not, and I say this about my country as well, we do not have a society as a whole right now that is willing to act. I don't know if you people understand what I'm getting at. I don't need to spell it out for you. But there comes a time when you must, beyond all measures, do what you fucking need to do to take back what is rightfully yours. But this is the good news for you guys. This is what Donald Trump has been doing. General Motors, they didn't think enough of the tax break that they were going to get over a period of 1 to 5 at 0.18%. Don't fucking call me a liar. Don't anybody say that. You can go and do the research yourself. It's very easy to find. Okay, you can Google the shit. Okay. Secondly, the First Step program, possibly one of the best programs I have ever heard of in my life. Specifically for you, the people of the United States of America. Did you know that over 37% of the population in the United States is incarcerated? 37%. Not quite, but it's almost a third. Oh, well, about a third of your population. Not half, but about a third of your population. Okay? Maybe a little over, yeah. The bottom line is with the First Step Act, we would be able to annihilate, the unnecessary need for incarceration. We would be able to help employ people that otherwise might not have a chance. there are things as we go along that you as Americans have to think about. I'm on a little earlier than what I said I would be, because I felt these things need to be addressed. I felt these things need to be addressed. It is you, the American people, that make your country as great or as lousy as you want it to be. Donald Trump hasn't really done anything, except be rather very, very, very forthcoming with the media about his feelings in regards to them, and particularly what he thinks of, and by the way, to anyone that does not know this, that CNN is a corporation. I've heard a lot of people slam Fox, where Fox is a media group. Okay? Fox is actually local. Fox has been on the air. Fox News has been on the air since I was a child, since my mother's parent. You can't get any more real than that. A lot of people want to bash it because currently they seem to be a little bit on board with the whole Trump train. They're not actually. If anybody really does their research, they'll see that then when it's come time to put him on the spot about something, Fox has no problem doing that. Getting right to the nitty-gritty of the situation, I feel it's very, very important. I feel it's very, very important. And this is why I've kind of started a little earlier than what I had planned. And for all of you at home, I'm going to just share this. Get back to reality here. Just give me a second. I'm running unfortunately I don't have a projector right now or anything like that. So we're using the flat screen. Hey, it is what it is. Now we need to do news today. By the way, News Today is a partner of Fox News. Yes, they are. Just like Green Pearl, oh my God, help me, right? And a lot of people don't know this. The Green Pearl is just an added partner to CNN. Okay, so a lot of people do not know that. What can you really do? You can just give me a second here. I'm trying to find something specific. Okay, I have it here. Our news. God damn it, I can't find it. Oh, and of course, I'm going to show you guys this again. And do you see how literally brainwashed CNN has some of you right now? Dressing Clinton up like the Joker, or like Pennywise, and always with these fancy slogans. Urgent, President Trump, breaking news today. How much do you want to make a bet? We're going to hear something that happened 2 weeks ago and that has already been swept or bashed away by the old tennis racket on the Trump train. Here, let's just check this out. You guys tell me what you think.
Mueller says he believes Michael Cohen's assertion that the president was lying to you, the American people, when he said he had no business dealings with Russia during his campaign. The big question is, did the president lie to Mueller in his answers about that same Russia deal? And if so, are we seeing...
What did I say? What did I say? Again, it just all boils down to Russia. It all boils down. They always bounce it back to Russia. They really, actually, for a while, were attempting to even be very lewd and kind of almost inciting about the murder of a Saudi journalist. My response to that man's murder is you live by a lie and you die by the sword. Sadly enough. I don't know why he was murdered. I have some sources that, and then my little fellow in arms over here could tell you, you know, I do have sources. I believe that it was more personal than anything. I don't believe that there was any real agenda. I believe it was something very personal. If you know of Arabic and Saudi people, they can be very loving people. And within that very same set of sweep eye, they can be extremely ruthless, even to their own family. I'm not putting it out there one way or the other like I know everything about it. You know, you people have to understand that, you know, again, it was just a very sad occurrence, and move on. But what did I tell you is, again, it's always going to bounce back to the Rush. Now, and a lot of people don't really know why James Comey was really fired. James Comey was the head of the FBI. What investigation was he prominently leading that he failed miserably in? Do I have to refresh everybody's fucking memories here? Why, when he appeared before the Senate committee and Trey Gowdy ripped him to shreds? Donald Trump didn't have a choice but to have him on. You understand? Even as president, sometimes you don't have a clear choice in things. But I'll tell you something. Did everyone notice that as quick as he was put on, Donald Trump fired him, didn't he? I wouldn't have had a snake like that working for me either. You know? Anyways, let's listen to this.
The president was asked about this Russia deal, but today he said something that blows the idea that he barely knew about this deal out of the water, and I'll point it out to you in a moment. Tonight, that's what we're doing. We're tying the pieces together for you after talking to people on all sides of this story. The problem is, the closer you get to the president, the more the truth becomes a precious commodity. So my friends, let's get after it. The Russia investigation has certainly entered an explosive and new chapter, and it is right up in the president's kitchen. There are even more bombshells
Wait
dropping
in the
tonight following
kitchen.
Michael Cohen's
Like they're
second
cooking up
guilty
crack,
plea.
you know?
As you know, the president's former lawyer and called his fixer today tied
Who's
the
fixer?
president to some of the highest levels of the Russian government. He says the president and he both lied about a proposed deal with the Russians. However, Michael Cohen did it to Congress. And all this was done when the president was the presumptive nominee. It was about a Trump Tower project in Moscow.
That's right. Actually,
Now we're learning from
two
another former
that were adjoining.
presidents, a man named Felix
They were
Sater.
actually adjoining
The
towers, but
2016
anyway.
project included offering Vladimir Putin a penthouse in the tower, reportedly worth $50 million.
For PR purposes.
He said earlier.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Proposed deal.
There is nothing wrong
There
with
would be nothing
that.
wrong if I did do it. I was running my business while I was campaigning. There was a good chance that I...
The bottom line is, while you are running a campaign, you are permitted. You are permitted. It is not considered immoral. It is not considered wrong. You have to make money to run for president. Oh yeah, absolutely. You see, one of the many things that I find so despicable, again, is that clearly, and when I say this with utmost contempt, clearly, from the get-go, it always bounces back to, well, what do you know, Manafort? Oh, by the way, Manafort did such a good job, didn't he? How quickly they were so eager to pull him from the stand, huh? You know, it's very funny that, again, we live in a society, like Michael Moore said, oh, I think the country's gonna do what it needs to. That they'll put their country ahead of themselves doing well. How is a country supposed to do well? How is our president-elect supposed to do well in his run for office to get the presidency if he doesn't have the financial backing? He made sure that happened. And that, Jim Acosta, is completely legit. So on that note, score what for Mueller? 0. Score 1 for Trump. Let's listen in, shall we?
wouldn't have won, in which case I would have gone back into the business, and why should I lose lots of opportunities?
Two impressive things there. One, did you hear that? The president says he didn't think he was going to win. That's why he was keeping his business interests going. And second, did you hear him say, I decided not to do it? That puts him at odds with the suggestion from those around him on the legal team that he knew very little about this deal, that he was focused on the campaign, that it was all Cohen running around doing his thing. He just said, I'm the one who decided not to do it. We also hear from White House sources the president is obviously in a terrible mood while preparing for the G20.
He's actually not been in that bad of a
He is,
mood.
spooked and completely distracted. Does he fear we're about to learn what Russia has over him that explains his passiveness when it comes to Putin? Let's bring Cuomo's court into session with former federal prosecutor Barrett Berger and former Trump White House lawyer Jim Schultz. It's good to have you both. Very important night. Barrett, when you look at this legally / strategically, what do you see here with the latest plea from Cohen?
This is an incredibly important guilty plea for the special counsel. So for Michael Cohen,
An especially important guilty plea from a man that, by the way, in the end, decided not to testify. Now you notice they're after John Stone. And by the way, after they literally raped John Stone's bank accounts, froze all of his equity, took his house, basically, brought him to his fucking knees financially. It's just terrible. It's Nazi Germany in the making, ladies and gentlemen. Do you not see that? It's Nazi Germany in the making. Anyway, I'm gonna let you folks catch up. I am running a live stream. We're already about 35 minutes in, and I said I'd be online for 6. I apologize. I really felt that this really needed to get out. You know, it's like I said, it's going to be an hour broadcast, and I'll be reviewing all of this with you. So I'm going to be leaving this up for a little while. I have to just go and grab something really quick here. Mrs. Thank you so much for making supper. The missus takes care of her man. What do you got to say about that? So, anyways, yeah, you guys, please, by all means, rewind this live stream. You can go back to it and get caught up. And I want some opinions along the road. I would really like to those of you who decide to join the lobby, or decide to join the live feed. You know, I definitely would like to, you know, would like to see. I'd like to see what the heck it is you have to say. So, anyway, I'll bid you farewell just for the moment in time. Realize this isn't our live stream, so you know we have this time. Let's make some use of it. Towards the end of this broadcast, I'm going to share some things, some new, very new things. Believe them if you want. Whatever. I'm going to be showing you exactly where I've acquired them from. It's going to shock the hell out of you. And it involves Benghazi and Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of State. Some cheese in there. Taste good? Yeah, one more. Well, go lay down, Peanut. All right. Good. Nobody in there right there. Shit. What's going on, babe? This is really good, by the way. Still in the lobby? Huh?
Still got that on?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's live streaming. And I have listened to this. It's an hour, babe. I need an hour. I thought I'd be on 6, and I got on at 5:30. But I just felt that a lot of this stuff had to be brought forth. You know, and I wasn't going to wait. I've never been the type of person to wait on something. Plus, I'd like to spend some time with my baby girl and watch some TV tonight. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? on this, don't have oil, okay? This is really good, by the way. This was really good. Fantastic. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go clean my face up. We are a minute in, ladies and gentlemen. We are a minute in. So. No. We are on a different time zone for a lot of states. I notice actually a lot of times I'm up at like 2 or 3 in the morning talking to people, for that matter. So something I want to start on, and I think it's very, very important. And it's something Hannity had done quite a little while back. And I feel this is so important to share this with you folks. Because I don't know if you know this, but Hannity is Canadian. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Don't anybody argue that. And something, I'm going to say is that, I don't know. You guys are going to have to, listen to this for yourselves, because I found it so provocative and I found it so interesting. Oh, here it is here. Now, to you, the American people, this is really, it's quite fascinating. And I really want you to hear this, because this is coming from a man who was very much like myself. Listen in.
With reaction to all we've been talking about, Fox News correspondent at law.
And yeah, we gotta find it here.
Tell me about capitalism.
Oh God, fuck you, Piers Morgan. Okay.
Welcome back to Hannity. Before we close tonight, I want to address the new, very serious sexual misconduct allegations against Judge Roy Moore. If you watch this...
Sorry, folks, wrong interview. I'm not able to find the interview. God damn it, it's really pissing me off. Oh, here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, you really need to hear this, okay? You really need to hear this. Oh my God, it will open your eyes.
Now, what Sean Hannity loves to do is to blame the economic downturn and the collapse of the financial system on the poor. Now, I'm not kidding. He literally does. He thinks it's the poor and the middle class that were given homes that.
Now, here we go, ladies and gents.
They forced banks, they forced financial institutions by law to lower their standards where people could get mortgages for homes that they could not afford, Michael. And people took the banks up on it. They took the money, they bought homes. So my question to you is, if you buy a home and you can't pay it back, who should pay the bill?
Well, first of all, let me just correct what you said. If that actually, if you believe that's the cause of it, that
Absolutely the cause.
during the Carter administration, why didn't the crash happen back in
No,
1978?
because he started it, it got doubled down in the Clinton years. The Republicans are on tape.
What happened during those 12 Reagan-Bush years?
So I'm explaining it to you.
Okay.
The Republicans have been warning.
We're not talking about Reagan. Michael, we're talking about Trump
Created
today.
deregulation. They got rid of the
No,
rules.
that's not the
They
problem.
got rid of the rules, and Clinton followed up and continued to get rid of more rules. And then when Bush the second came in, he really smoked them. He got rid of everything so the banks and the financial institutions could get away with murder. And you know that's the
No.
truth.
It's the first time Fox News guys probably ever heard of that, viewers. And they're like,
You know, now, some of what Michael Moore says
well,
there
Hannity was
is
saying
actually true. What we don't hear, oh, here we go.
If government then has to take over, if you're not going to support, for example, Freddie and Fannie go bankrupt, the government's going to take over, right? If the post office is going bankrupt, Freddie went bankrupt, Fannie went bankrupt, Social Security is going to go bankrupt this year according to the latest report. Medicare's going bankrupt, Medicaid's going bankrupt, the FDIC, all going bankrupt. So my next question is, why do you trust the government so much? Because that's the only, what else is left? What's going to take over? Capitalism isn't there.
Well, when you say the post office is going bankrupt, what makes you think the post office exists to make a profit?
Well, the point is, who's going to pay for all this?
Well, these are government services. Who's going to pay for the roads? Who's paying for the traffic lights?
But
Who pays for the Army? I mean, these are things that, we don't expect the Army to make a profit.
No, it's
You don't
not
expect
that.
the fire department to make a
But
profit.
the country, Barack
So I
Obama,
don't expect the post office to make a profit.
Right, so the
Because it's
post
a
office
service that
won't.
we need.
so Medicare won't
You
make
know,
a profit, so
it
that's
shouldn't
gonna-
make a profit.
Social Security won't.
It shouldn't, and in fact, let me tell you
But
something.
they're insolvent, there's a difference.
No, they're not.
Government-
So hospitals shouldn't make a profit. The military shouldn't make a profit. People that own businesses, Michael, shouldn't make a profit. How in the fucking world are we supposed to prosper? How are we supposed to live and provide for our generations to come? Michael Moore, if you please. If nobody's supposed to make any money, Michael, how did you acquire the millions of dollars that you now have? How much did it cost you to make Fahrenheit 9/11, which to a degree was a sham, because I actually have the interview on my computer. I could share the audio with you guys. And basically, where Michael Moore admits that George W. Bush did in fact win the election. Yeah, there, good old armadillo partner, Michael Moore. George Bush did win the election. Thank you. So Fahrenheit 9/11, I mean, if you're going to lie to the people, Michael, lie to them. Don't tell half-truths. If you're going to lie, lie. If you're going to speak the truth, speak the truth. The people were not happy to see Bush in office, absolutely. I'll agree on that. But he did win, Michael. Only by about 25,000 votes to your exact count, I thought that was. You know, the bottom line, ladies and gents, I'm doing the stream for your viewing today. I'm waiting, and of course I know I'm in Canada. Athca, New York doesn't have that much of a time zone difference, but places like Los Angeles, places like the state of Florida, places like, you guys are about an hour, 2 hours either behind or ahead. I'm not sure these days. Myself, with everything that's been going on in the world, I really think it's important to just rely on stone cold hard facts. Okay? And that's the key. The truth shall set you free. There is no collusion. There is no magic puppet. Okay? There is no certainly not in Trump's camp. No Adolf Hitler in disguise. I think what you all need to do, I think what you all need to realize is that, for the most part, your president for the past 16 months has been on the ropes. Fighting every day, not with just the media, but now with the Mueller investigation, which has been going on, as far as I'm concerned, way too long. If I do have a message to our president, Mr. President, please, you need to, I know you are a stand-up guy, and I know you're gritting your teeth wanting to do it. Follow your gut instinct and do it. Fire. I know that there's already been motions by the House Select to pull that order of protection for him to save his job. Personally, I don't think that's going to last. One of the very, very many things I wanted to share with you guys, and I think it's just so important. And this is on my computer. I can't tether it here because my computer doesn't have a wireless router. So I want you guys to listen to what's going on here today. This is dated December 4th, 2018. Okay?
Both. Brad, let's start with you. Talk to me about the opposition research part of this, because joining me right now, start with you. Bush 43 senior advisor Brad Blakeman worked on several presidential campaigns, along with former Hillary Clinton campaign advisor Antoine Brad, start with you. Talk to me along with former about the opposition research.
That's not going to work. Damn it. Anyways, just to let you guys know that there is a link on Newsday that you can follow. And it says Hillary. Ooh, Hillary? Mueller never saw this coming. Hillary and Mueller never saw this coming. Ex-George Bush, W. Bush senior advisor, just exposed everything. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, that's on News Today. And you guys should really go check that out. It is quite interesting. And by the way, the great thing is they had to get, News Today does a lot of anchor rimming. They basically have close relationships with not only Fox, but CNBC, ABC, a whole bunch of really, really good networks. Again, I say to you, the American people, to keep this in mind, that CNN is not a news network. They are a corporation. They are a private corporation. Okay? So there is a difference. There's a huge difference between a private corporation and an actual network, a public network that reports news. Okay? So there is a huge fucking huge difference. Okay? You know? And, you know, you guys have to understand, you know, it is what it is, you know? You guys have to step up. Step your game up as fellow Americans. Step your game up as people. One people. It's so very important. You know, we're getting down to the wire here. And I was going to share a few things, but I don't think it's relevant right now. I was going to share a few things. And to those of you who are on my Twitter and specifically on here, you can, we've only got about 3 minutes left that I'm going to be up for. So what's terribly important is that you guys realize a couple of things. Donald Trump truly does want to make America great again. From the economical perspective, from the perspective of homeland security, you know, building the wall, I think would solve quite a few problems. I don't think it would completely run them rampant. You know, where there's a will, there's a way, as they say. But I do believe in my heart of hearts that it would really slow down the flow of illegal drugs, number one, and illegal firearms. It would probably give those who really want a better life in your country to pursue it legally. And by all definition, I just have one thing to say. I do believe Donald Trump wants to make America great again. So on that note, you know, I really want to, just anybody who decides to check out this feed, I want to thank you. You'll be able to post comments. I'm going to leave the live chat open. You guys can review this at your own discretion. I hope we'll have some people joining us live next time. You know, this was a really bad time to have this feed going, as a lot of you are probably still at work. Basically, you know, I think what's really important is that that you, the American people, know that there are other countries around the world that see what's going on. And it's so important to us, specifically here in Canada, because we are neighbors, not to let this atrocity spoil over into our government. This is why you, the people of the United States, need to step up. On that personal note, if I could have Donald Trump in office for 2020, if it was him and Hillary Clinton, it'd be Trump, okay? I don't think after the course that Hillary Clinton will ever even probably be allowed to run not only for office but for president again. On that final thought, my name is Robert Kane, and I am your host of The Devil's Advocate. Thanks for watching.